Arts, Military, and Healing is a collaborative initiative uniting the resources of veterans organizations, art schools, national cultural institutions. It's been the work of visionary ideas and tremendous actions on the parts of many individuals working as a team over the last several months. But we know we are just beginning to scratch the surface of what's really happening across the country. The Arts, Military, and Healing workshops, theater and dance performances, the film screening, art exhibitions, all highlight the many ways in which the arts and crafts have been intersecting with U.S. military for many years.
How about this one? Empty the loose change from your pocket before you put it in the wash. It's very direct, military, right?
Yeah.
Where we began was Drew Cameron decided he was going to cut his uniform off his body, pull in, and make paper.
My name is Nick Collier. I'm an undergrad student here at George Mason, BFA in sculpture. Previously was in the United States Marine Corps, served 4 years with a combat tour in Afghanistan. This is the first time I've really been involved with doing art as therapy, especially with my own experiences with the military. Art therapy definitely helps to come together and share experiences openly without kind of fear of somebody thinking negatively about you.
I always compare shooting a rifle to shooting a camera. Breathing, aim, target, trigger speed.
Seeing the piles of leftover packets, buttons, patches, and zippers reminded me of the skeletons that we carry with us from those far-off places only us military people get a first-person experience with.
And so we'll see what happens when it dries.
I love to discuss things with people, but it's not the same as being able to actually get something out of your head and see it, whether it's creative writing or whether it's, tearing down your uniforms or making paper out of them. You can actually see and feel something concrete, and it's not stuck in your head anymore. And once it's out there, you can change it.
What I have in my head is to do some screen printing with some paper pulp on top of the paper that I made.
At the end of it, I'd like to have more experience making paper so that I can continue after this.
In the Army, there's this saying, put it in your toolkit, which means even if you can't use this right now, put it in your back pocket and you can pull it out later. If it's useful, when it's useful.
This event brings a lot of awareness about the connection between active military, veterans, and the arts. How powerful the arts have been in people's recovery, especially from combat situations, to meet the challenges of what they've been through in multiple deployments and reintegration. And I think we really underestimate how healing and how powerful the arts are in that sense. And the other thing that this event brings together are veterans who are supporting others and becoming mentors and guides for this kind of work to be done all over the country and all over the world.
Art therapy can be self-soothing, it can promote mindfulness, it can do a lot of wonderful things in terms of stress reduction. We even have ways to address substance abuse, which is really prevalent within the military culture.
Most of the people that are involved in it want to see this kind of work become regular part of any kind of veteran support programs, also empower veterans themselves to get these kinds of things started.
This is the beginning of a journey where not only the veteran artist community, but the larger arts community. The veteran experience is being talked about a lot these days, and we in the arts community have the opportunity to redefine who the veteran is. VAP is committed to raising the bar, expanding opportunities, and creating the network necessary to propel veterans into the mainstream creative arts community.
We're Combat Paper New Jersey. We were with the Joe Bonham Project, working with the patients at Walter Reed. So the patients were able to make paper, make prints on the paper, and then the Joe Bonham Project was sketching the patients on the combat paper.
All the guys that we've drawn are willing to be looked at, and many of them have some of the most catastrophic wounds one can possibly imagine. And it's been an honor to draw them. It's a very intimate thing.
I suffered from a traumatic double amputation, bilateral amputation, and a mild TBI. And we came together and made a combined effort to illustrate what we're going through during the recovery process of a traumatic brain injury at Walter Reed. And this piece shows some of what we're feeling, some of the emotions and thoughts that we're having, and exhibits our reaction to how people think about us and treat us.
What's been really great about this workshop is spending the entire Monday through tomorrow focusing on merging papermaking with trauma intervention and the principles of art therapy, that foundation. Having the time to do that.
I work with Warrior Writers Project. We had an amazing week this week with the writing and the paper. We combined papermaking and writing. And we had the participants write on the paper, and they're bursting at the seams to tell their stories, and it's our privilege to be a part of this creative process. And please stay involved and continue to listen to our veterans so that we can move forward together.
Let's remember that we are traveling on a two-way street. It isn't just the arts that are helping heal the wounded warriors. The wounded warriors are helping to reinvigorate the arts. Art is not an extra. It's core to our intellectual and emotional development and well-being. Making things, the sensory experience of manipulating materials, refining skills, and experimenting without fear can lead to joy, peace, and productivity. Now, who doesn't want that in their life?
What was your first meeting that you worked with arts? Graham?
A really nice sense of presence.
Yeah, this is going to work.
Totally.
Yeah.
Can you move that? Can you crawl?
It's extraordinary to work with these folks, and we do open call interviews with any vets who are interested in participating.
Sing a good morning song.
This is a song of the morning bird. Good morning!
Oh, what a beautiful morning. What a beautiful day.
Parking by the lake and there was not another car in sight.
This energy is all around you. And on stage, you're moving within that energy. So just move your arms
I construct a
about little
script
bit. Just
from what I feel
arms.
are the stories they're trying to tell. And I'm not always right,
looking at
and
theatrical
they're
space,
quite
you're
honest about telling me when that's the case.
house.
These folks will then work with a director to learn the basics of performance.
Follow that finger.
For you.
And when I give them a script,
Sir.
they will transition to rehearsal. And they rehearse this until it is a sculpted and finished piece. A big ask, to ask these guys to get up on stage in front of a bunch of strangers and talk about their experiences that they've been guarded about for a long time.
That's when the nightmares came. And I just couldn't deal with it. I was just kind of mulling through the day. I kept trying to meet people, make new friends, but it was really rough because nobody got it. Nobody understood.
Here would be a great one. Nobody got it, one knee. Nobody understood. Nobody understood the other knee.
From the time you start to the time you finish, my memory has gone totally away from what you're...
A guy is in a bad way when he's sleeping rough and he's on the streets and he can't keep a job and he's using alcohol.
You'll see on Friday evening a group of folks who are both tremendously courageous and tremendously committed to what their stories can do and what they mean, and what their experience has signified for their fellow veterans and for their fellow citizens.
So get a...
My favorite course to teach was... Civilians are out there that kind of don't know that much about the military, and yet they think they do. Maybe this will kind of give them some insights or maybe some shatter some illusions, some of the stuff that they think.
What I found out most disturbing was a perspective on torture. You know, that whole discussion. When I was a cadet back in the 80s, we talked about torture, everything centered around Vietnam. We were very aware of what the Vietnam vets had gone through.
And on this sign, it said, not in English, she didn't speak English, but the sign was in English nonetheless, and it said, in a time when a lot of the United States feels like it's separated from the war effort, and basically 1% seems to be doing a lot of the fighting, this is a really good opportunity for veterans and civilians to reintegrate our relationship and to build it together so that we all understand the overall effects of this massive undertaking overseas. That at least at one point during history was able to liberate concentration camps. That is an amazing thing. Josh Wiley, United States Marine Corps.
Mick Luttridge, Royal Navy.
Randy Miller, United States Navy.
Sarah Barr, United States Air Force.
Theodore John, United States Marine Corps.
James Arnold II, United States Air Force.
After the emotions we've just experienced, there is no eloquence that can match the stories we've just been told. Contrary to all indications, there is no great gap in love, affection, support, or admiration between Americans and those who have served their nation in uniform. What there is from time to time is a gap of knowledge. So where do we go from here? What after this extraordinary week, this outpouring, this education for us, this revelation for them? Where do we go from here, from all this good work? We have a duty to keep these projects going. We have a duty to encourage veterans who have held their experiences within themselves because they were trained to do so, that it is okay to tell their stories, not just for the effect it has on them, the release, but because Americans need to know. But tonight, we salute you who have told us your stories, and once again, given a part of yourselves for us. And we salute all of you who have made this possible. What imagination, what dedication, and what a fantastic result. Thank you.